to ensure that you are informed, alerted, and always advised on what is the best choices that you have for the B school aspirants. It's a very, very aspirational institution where students from all over the country want to come and study there. It is ranked 4th best in the country. And MICA calls itself a school of ideas. That MICA is judged on the research that it does, which is not what its purpose is. It's specialized. Typically, when students get into a B school, what do they look for? Hello students, Namaste, welcome to MBA 360. Today we're going to discuss about MICA. All of you, when you're choosing a college, obviously refer to the college rankings, especially by the NIRF, which is a Government of India ranking. And in the case of MICA, this institution has been very, very unfairly treated. And I'm going to prove it of why exactly it is unfairly treated and what is the reason why this methodology is so flawed, especially against specialized institutions, specialized B schools. Before I start off, please subscribe to MBA 360. If you're an MBA aspirant wanting to do MBA at any point in time, this is the most important channel that you must subscribe to, because I and we as Career 360 will be working hard to ensure that you are informed, alerted, and always advised on what is the best choices that you have for the B school aspirants. Now, coming back to MICA. To begin with, what is MICA all about? MICA was established in 1991 by Sri A.G. Krishnamurthy. He is no longer there, but he is the doyen of advertising and mass communications. He was the biggest man. He was the one who founded Mudra, right? So it was founded in 1991, MICA. MICA is Mudra Institute of Communication, right? So this is essentially the promoter of this is Mudra, which is one of the biggest agencies at that point in time. It's an autonomous institution. The campus size is 19 acres, close to Ahmedabad. The ranking is 33, which is what we're questioning now, because all specialized institutions are very, very unfairly treated. In fact, standalone institutions also are unfairly treated as far as B school ranking is concerned. But if you're a specialized institution, you're much more worse treated. And we'll show you with data of why it happens, right? The total students is 401. Male is 50-50, girls and boys, right? And about 89% students come from outside the state. When you actually have an institution where more than about 90% students are coming from outside the state, it means that it's a very, very aspirational institution where students from all over the country want to come and study there. This is the thing. But the question we are talking of is the NIRF ranking and whether 33 is the ranking that MICA deserves or is it better. Let me show you some data, right? I'm showing you 3 B schools. One is IIT Delhi, Department of Management Studies. It is ranked 4th best in the country. Then you have IIT Kharagpur, which is home, which is ranked 12th best in the country by NIRF, which is the Government of India ranking. And then you have MICA, which is the case study that we are talking about at this point in time, which is ranked 33. Now there are 5 parameters based on which NIRF actually gives a score. One is teaching and learning resources, which is the quality of teaching, faculty, PhD faculty, the quality of students and the learning resources that you have. There, if you notice, MICA is 73.21. Kharagpur is 57.87 and Delhi is 74.02. So Delhi and MICA are almost on par. One is 73 and one is 74. But one is ranked 4th and one is ranked 33. And for sure, this is better than IIT Kharagpur, which is 57.87, which is dramatically lower. So in teaching and learning resources, MICA stands tall and can compare with anyone else around. Now come to the research. For a standalone B school, the research component is very, very minimal because it's a standalone B school. Unlike an IIT, which has multiple departments, so it can actually pull in all resources, all researchers, and then give you a cross-functional, multidisciplinary kind of a research practice, because of which it helps. But a standalone B school is only dealing with case studies. Typically, B schools, what do? They are not as much into research as they are into case studies. And MICA calls itself a school of ideas. So it's always talking of creativity and ideas and those kind of things and not research. But so unfair that MICA is judged on the research that it does, which is not what its purpose is. Its purpose is, creativity and ideas and communication and marketing and digital marketing and so on and so forth. It's specialized. But it is judged on research and compares itself with IITs and IITs obviously scale. So if you now notice this, IIT Delhi DOMS, which is Department of Management Studies, has a research rating of 87.5. IIT Kharagpur has 78.53. But by the time it comes to MICA, it's half, 87.5 and 43.32. So research brings it down dramatically. And not just that, another thing I'll show you. Now, typically when students get into a B school, what do they look for? They look for what's the kind of placement, what kind of internships, where do you get a job, how do you get hands-on experience, which is through internship, right? Now you look at MICA. That is essentially judged by what you call in NRF called graduation outcome. Graduation outcome is placement percentage and median salary. These are two things. There is also one more small factor, but it doesn't apply to a B school at this point in time, right? Now this is called these placements. Now the weightage for this is just 20%. The weightage for research is 30%. The weightage for graduation outcome, which is placement, which is what many students look for, the hands-on experience, the internship, that is just 20%. Here, MICA is better than both. This is 84.20. IIT Kharagpur and DOMS is 83.382 and IIT Delhi DOMS is 83.30. So this MICA ranks better. If it were to go this way, then it should be ranked better than IIT Delhi also, which is 4th best ranked. By the way, I'm not suggesting MICA is 4th best in the country. I think it should be around 20, between 15 and 20 is my perception, around 20, give or take a couple, right? So 84.2, so in terms of placement, it is very, very good. Now you have another problem also here, which is perception. What happens in perception is the larger the institution, the larger the alumni, and people start responding. They might not have studied management in IIT Delhi, but they will respond that they like IIT Delhi as compared to MICA, which is a specialized institution. Not many know about mass communication and advertising and those kind of, it's very specialized. So here if you see the rate perception, this is called perception. The perception rating of IIT Delhi DOMS is 62.59. This is largely influenced by IIT, not about DOMS. It is not about Department of Management Studies. DOMS can't even fill in 70% of its seats. Same thing with Kharagpur, 33.51. But when it comes to MICA, it is 3.82. It a bottommost. The perception of MICA is bottommost because it's not top of the mind recall for a surveyor who is responding on a perception rating. Now, just imagine for a moment, this 3.82 is not 3 because obviously in terms of mass communication, ideas, creativity and all, MICA is the best institute in the country at this point in time. There is no two ways about it. Very few come close to it for the kind of legacy and for the kind of journey it had. And it's been very, very consistent. Now, that is not being, because you're going to all kinds of people, whereas it's a specialized institution which is only dealing with communications, marketing and creativity. Now, when you don't go there, obviously it rates lower, which is what happened. The perception rating of MICA is 3.82 as compared to 62.59. So, at a 10% weightage, DOMS Delhi got 6.2 marks or 6.3 marks and this MICA had 0.3 marks. I'm not saying that, okay, it should reach up to that. But even if this is supposed to be, say, about 30, then you would see an increase of 2.7 marks in MICA. And that will take you to between 15 and 20 kind of a rank. So that is the problem that, the graduation outcome, which is important for a student, is less weightage. And research, which is not so important for the student, is high. And perception, which normally favors a larger institution, is high. So all these three go against MICA. All these three go against MICA. And by the way, I'm picking up MICA because it's a specialized institution and the same thing, similar thing actually applies to, say, an SCMHRD, which is Symbiosis Institute of Human Resource Development. Right? And the reason is, again, it's a specialized institution only dealing with HR practices. The same thing will happen for National Insurance Academy. The same thing will happen for NIBM, which is National Institution of Banking and Management. Because they are specialized institutions, they do not get into research. They're not so well known in terms of perception by all the surveys that are there. And it creates a flaw in the ranking ecosystem. Now, if you were to just put this in perspective and look at the data here, I'm just talking of the MICA placements at this point in time. Look at the placement that you have. 211 graduated, 211 placed. 179 graduated, 179 placed. 200 graduated, 200 placed. 100% placement across the years. What is the median salary? 17, 19, 18 lakh. It doesn't stop here. If you go further down, the highest CT is 40.91 lakh. Average CT is 19.22 lakhs. And the median CTC is 18 lakh rupees. In fact, when we did a ranking only on graduation outcome, which is essentially placements, then MICA would be ranking 23 out of all the thing, if you give an equal weightage to the placement percentage and the median salary and rate it across the system, then MICA would be ranking 23 and not 33. And I personally believe that this is the case for every specialized institution out there. If you're a standalone B school, you're unfairly treated. But if you're a specialized institution, you're more unfairly treated. And that is a problem that we're trying to bring in, because you as students must know that when you believe in ranking, you must also have some kind of caveats, some kind of qualifications, which is that if you're dealing with a standalone B school, the ranking should have been slightly better. And if you're dealing with specialized standalone B school, the ranking should be much, much better. And that is what is the objective of this. This is not about pulling down a ranking as much as advising you that you must read these rankings with a bit of caveats, a bit of caution, so that you're not misled. Now, coming back to MICA again, what are the kind of companies that come for placement? FMCG, because I told you that it's all about creativity, marketing, communications and all. FMCG is 71, consulting 21, media 27, consumer tech 14, BFSI 22, others 40. And look at the kind of salary that you're dealing with. Highest, median, everything. Everything is a green tick. Everything. And that is what I'm referring to, that MICA possibly deserves to be in the 20th rank plus or minus 2 and not otherwise. And just to complete this whole thing of how do you get into MICA, please get into MICA only if you're interested in marketing, communications and creativity. It is not for people who want to do finance or HR or operations and all. It is not meant for that. It's a niche specialized B school, right? It accepts CAT, but after CAT there's an examination called MICAT. This MICAT is compulsory. It has a weightage also. So after CAT you go to MICAT. So the weightage of CAT is 35%. The weightage of MICAT is 25%. This is the examination. And group exercise is 10%, personal interview is 20%, and remaining academic performance 10th, 12th and all, which is what typically most are. But MICAT is a compulsory examination for people who are looking to get into MICA. And just to round it up, established in 1991, so we're dealing with an institution which is there for the last 35 years. Recognized as Premier Institute for Strategic Marketing and Communication. Strong emphasis on marketing, branding, communication and consumer-centric strategy, right? And typically the students who pass out get roles of brand management, product marketing, consumer insights, digital marketing, content and communication, strategy and planning. And by the way, MICA doesn't just place 100% students, but all 100% students are also finding internship there, which is very, very crucial because you actually have a hands-on experience even before you get placed. All 100%, and 4.4 lakh for 2 months, which means 2.2 lakh rupees per month is the internship thing. The minimum average stipend is about 1.54 lakh, which is about 75,000-80,000 rupees is what you get as internship when you go through MICA. So that is the kind of quality of institution that we're dealing with. So the question that I always keep asking is, standalone B schools we know are unfairly treated, but specialized institutions are more unfairly treated. NIRF for sure, in my opinion, needs a reboot as far as B schools are concerned. Right, as far as B schools are concerned. But more importantly, students, if you're looking at ranking and depending only on ranking, please read it with caution, because if you're judging a rank of a standalone institution, it's slightly lesser than what it should be, and it is much lesser if you're dealing with a specialized institution, which is also a standalone institution. Right? Thank you so much. Please subscribe to MBA 360 if you want to keep getting these kind of videos, because we're going to dig deeper with data, with information to come to you with what is exactly needed for you. And if you have any questions, write a message out here, engage with us. We're more than happy to do any of the other B school that you would want us to do so that you can be helped. And my team is waiting to get your response. Thank you so much. Namaste.